What is up, YouTube? This is MotoSarge signing in, and today we're heading back down to Fort Benning Harley-Davidson and linking up with my buddy Rev. We got another test ride video for you guys, and today I'm going to be test riding the 2020 Harley-Davidson Softail Street Bob. So let's roll that intro and get on with today's video.
Hard work, banging on the doors in the morning. Hard work, get up and let's go to work. Hard work, you pack up the shoes.
All right, guys, welcome back. I'm here at Fort Benning Harley-Davidson with Rev. He's going to go over the tech specs of the 2020 Harley-Davidson Softail Street Bob for us.
Hey, what's up, y'all? So yeah, this is the 2020 Vivid Black Harley-Davidson Softail Street Bob. Around the end of 2016, coming into 2017 is when we switched over from the Dynas. So used to, when you saw a Street Bob, it was a Dyna. You saw the suspension in the rear here. So now what we have is the 2020 Softail Street Bob. This new engine that they're putting in these guys, this is the Milwaukee 8. One of my favorite things about this engine is that if you're used to at all riding anything before the Milwaukee 8, you're gonna feel a huge difference in how smooth the ride is. So a lot more upgraded gauge, a little bit more modern look to the old school style here. We got a solo tuck and roll seat right here for the solo rider. Of course, if you're a two-up rider, you like riding with somebody else, you can always put what they call a passenger pillion. You can get extended seats. I've seen guys put saddlemans on these things. There's tons of options. It's got a great seat height, and I'm about 6'2", so I'm a kind of a long leg dude. Something about this bike is I could always, for a long armed guy or a girl, you can push these bars a little bit forward. You have a little bit of play here. Of course, if you're customizing, you could go to the sky or whatever you want to do. Put something down here, put some T's on it. I've seen a lot of people put T-bars on them. Also, these, you have mid controls. For me, I would probably put on a forward control kit so that I could be a little bit more stretched out for my long legs, but this is still nice if you like the aggressive riding. You can really whip into those turns with some mid controls, which is really a nice feature there. You're rocking a 19 tire in the front with a 16 in the back. You have spoked rims, so you have a nice throwback classic look for this Softail. 3.7 tank, so you're looking at roughly 130 miles that you can get from this tank right here. Again, with the new era coming into, we have a LED light in front, and I'll go and turn that on too so we can see that. So visibility at night is going to be awesome. Whether you're popping around town or you decide to take a little bit of a long trip, tank size is great for it, the comfort's great for it, and you can always switch the seat out to more of your preference. They have a lot of other colors. They got some two-tones, they got some new ones. My favorites, they got spruce, Ruroc gray. This one right here is actually a billiard red with a black. And for instance, somebody popped some new mirrors on this one. So there's tons of stuff that you can do, whether you want to change your pipes out, change your mirrors out, change your seat out. Man, I mean, anything you could do. I put some 16s on my bike, it just whatever your preference, that's what it's all about. It's all about you. That's what motorcycle riding is absolutely about. It's about making that bike your own and being comfortable on that bike and then going wherever you want to go. It is the best way to nowadays social distance. So
that's for sure. I'm gonna hop on it and take it for a spin. Are you cool?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
Man.
Thanks for your time, man.
All right, brother.
That's what they say. Hard work. We can win on out. Hard work.
All right, welcome to the ride portion of the 2020 Harley-Davidson Softail Street Bob test ride. Super excited to be on this bike. I mean, can't thank the staff at Fort Benning Harley-Davidson enough. Rev completely knocked it out the park with going over the tech specs, and what I mentioned to you guys is I didn't want to have to memorize every bike. Figured he works there on a daily basis. He'll be able to do it a lot better than I will. But if you guys are new to the channel, I bring you along with me as I merge my passions for photography and motorcycles. So if you like anything photography or motorcycle related and you have not yet subscribed to the channel, go ahead and click that subscribe button below. And we're at it, don't forget to ring that bell icon to receive email alerts when I upload some new content. So the route I have planned for you guys today is to hop on I-185, head on into Columbus, and then come back up a couple different back roads on the way. So that way we could get some interstate speeds as well as, in and around town. So you guys could get an idea on if this bike would be something for you based off of your riding styles. I could already tell you, I really think the power of the 107 is incredible. I mean, it's super smooth. The transmission is extremely smooth as well, compared to what I'm used to. I normally ride a 2016 Dyna Fat Bob, so a little bit different. But we're gonna go ahead and hop on the interstate here real quick, guys. Not sure if my mic will be decent, so I'll catch up with you guys once we get off the interstate. So I'm hoping you guys could hear me somewhat, you know, because we don't have any wind protection, of course, on the Street Bob. So I feel like I am getting a little bit beat up on the interstate with wind, but it's just mainly for mic. You know, it's not uncomfortable. It's not something that I could see hindering you throwing down miles. It's a very comfortable ride on the interstate for sure. Has unbelievable amount of torque. So if you're needing to pass, you know, a semi or a car, you have the power to do so with ease. Like, this bike will get up and get moving in a hurry, especially being a 107 Milwaukee 8. Completely different ride than the twin cam 103 that I ride on a daily basis. It does feel like it pulls a lot more than the 103. So I think the 107 Milwaukee 8, if you're looking at, you know, an entry-level Harley-Davidson, definitely check out the Street Bob. You know, it's not much heavier than the Sportster is, and comes with the Milwaukee 8 107. Now the Street Bob doesn't have the 114 option, so that's not there. But they also, you know, they carry the Street Bob standard, which has a little bit more chrome, but overall the bike looks real similar. So going over the ergonomics of this bike a little bit, you know, I do feel that I'm sitting pretty high on the bike, which is just a little bit different than what I'm used to with my Dyna, because I do have, you know, an aftermarket seat that squatted me down some. But this bike, it does have the mid controls that Rev mentioned, so it took me a little bit to get used to those, because I'm used to my, you know, feet being further out in front of me, which is cool. But these mid controls definitely do make me feel like I have some more control over the bike. Now the speedometer slash tachometer thing here, built into the risers, I would say I was a little bit hesitant to how that thing would look in the daylight. As you guys can see, clear blue skies, sun is out, but I could still read that pretty easy. So going into today's ride, I was worried that, you know, that would be hard to read, but it's not. And then of course, you know, riding at night, I'm sure it's even brighter. Now you could change what is red on there if you want to, with the indicator switch up here between clock, RPM, trip A, trip B, gas mileage, all that kind of stuff. You could do that. Which one is River Road? I think it's this way. Trying to figure out this loop, guys. It might take me a little bit to get this lap down pat, but this is gonna be the normal test ride route that I take. Interstate, stop by the lake, snap the thumbnail, and get on here and kind of cruise on back to the dealership and talk about the bike. Really excited. This bike only has 15 miles. So other than them pulling it off the truck, doing their pre-ride inspections, it's kind of cool to be behind the bars of this thing. Now it does have mini apes. I don't know the height of them, but if I were to do this, I would probably look at getting a different style ape, something a little taller. That's just me. The seat, being a stock seat, is really soft. I mean, it is comfortable. Now it does lack, you know, the lumbar support, because it is a solo seat, doesn't really have any back support back there. And when we were getting on the interstate, I did feel like I was gonna slip off into the rear fender a little bit. But that, you know, again, if you end up getting one of the 2-up pillion type seats on here to keep that bobber look, I'm sure that might add some back support. But the seat is comfortable for it being a solo seat. The mid controls, I probably would keep the mid controls on this bike, just because I like how flickable this bike is. Is that a word, flickable? I don't know, we just made it a word today. But it does seem very nimble, you know, with the tires and wheels set up. This bike does seem like you could get up there and the twisties, go up in the mountainside and kind of have some fun carving the corners. And with the mid controls, it's going to keep, you know, in my opinion, your ground clearance and everything the same. I think it's about 28.5 degrees is your lean angle, both, you know, left and right. I'm so used to seeing potholes and having to like either slam on the brakes to avoid them or weaving in and out of them. But this thing with the Softail suspension, man, like you just soak up all those things like you're on a dirt bike in a rhythm section or something, not even worry about it. Like, thing is super smooth across all different types of roads, which is nice. Like, this has me wanting to switch over to the Softail frame, but it's all right. Long live the Dyna. I'm gonna keep that bike forever. But handling is great, suspension is great. Overall, I would say that this bike would be not only just a great beginner bike, but a great bike for someone that just wants to get out on the weekends and have fun bouncing around, hitting the twisties, maybe even track some longer miles. You know, I don't know how often you would do it. If you're looking for a bike for touring, you might want some sort of wind protection. But with Harley-Davidson, what I like about them is they have bikes that meet all different riding styles. So if you're looking at touring, you're probably not looking at the Street Bob anyways. If you're looking for something to rip around, have some fun, enjoy yourselves on the weekends, this may be the bike for you. I mean, it's super comfortable. The tank, I think gas range is about 140, 150 miles. So it should be enough to get out there and have some fun and not be that guy having to stop every 75 miles to fill up. So it's gonna get you to where you wanna go. It does feel like I'm sitting so high though. I don't know. It's almost like, if I have to explain it, it's almost like you're used to driving like a car that's low to the ground and then you find yourself in a lifted truck. It's what I feel like. I'm so high up right now. It's kind of throwing me off a little bit. Still fun though. At idle, this thing is very quiet. It does have the stock exhaust, which of course, you know, you gotta open her up and throw some aftermarket exhaust on there, but the stock exhaust still does have a unique, like, Harley-Davidson-esque purr to it. Sounds really good. Vibration is so much less than the Dyna, like so much less. Like, my camera normally at idle is bouncing all around the 360 camera, so I'm sure it's going to be a little bit more stable for you guys, and it doesn't feel like it gets nearly as hot, which is perfect if you're a rider that goes like in and around town, because you get stopped at lights on mine on the twin cam 103 in the middle of the summer and you better have a water source, or you better be going somewhere to get something to drink after, because you are dying at stops. This thing doesn't add too much additional heat, so I think, you know, going in through cities and getting stopped at red lights isn't going to be as bad as the twin cam motor. So it definitely runs cooler and a little quieter, less vibration, which would probably lead to less hand fatigue on longer rides, I think. I don't know. Pros, I would say it's extremely smooth power. Transmission is very smooth, and it's one of those bikes that you could definitely get out there and have some fun on the weekends. Some other pros to the bike, I do like the handling of it. It does feel extremely nimble. It's lightweight, easy to maneuver, but it doesn't lack the power. So again, like, getting back, if you're looking at a beginner level bike, this might be that entry level bike for you, because it has the potential to grow with you too as your riding gets a little bit more aggressive. Now, some cons, just because, you know, if you do pros, I feel like you got to do some cons. Some cons, I would say, although that gauge is easy to read in the day, which I was worried that it wouldn't be, I would say I would probably like something a little bit different. I know, you know, with Harley, they're going for the bobber look on this thing, so having it here as opposed to on the tank allows that tank to look free and clear and give it that more bobber style look. But my thought is, if I'm wanting to change out my bars and risers, let's say I want to go T-bars, that's going to be kind of awkward up here. Maybe not, I don't know. I've seen some out there that do look good, but I think it just adds more as far as issues if you're wanting to swap out bars and risers. I know they probably do cable extensions for it to get up higher if you do T-bars, or you could just make sure you stay with the same diameter of handlebar and you'll be okay. But it's still easy to read, so that's not really a con, you know. Like, I thought the con would be that would be hard to read. It's not. Very simple to read. It's extremely bright, and I'm not one to look down at my gauges too much when I ride anyway, so it is what it is. Another con for me, and it's just me personally, guys, because I ride a lot with the kids. It comes with a solo seat, so if I'm looking at, you know, getting this bike up to par for the type of riding I do, I would have to right away invest in that little 2-up pillion seat on the back, as well as get some I think this is that benefit ride for the fallen soldier, Medal of Honor recipient. I think Fort Benning Harley-Davidson was the host to kick that ride off, which is pretty sick. Glad those guys are out riding for a good cause. Way to go, guys. Have some fun, be safe. But you'd have to invest right away into a seat and passenger pegs, which isn't the most expensive upgrade to do. But when you're looking at upgrading your Dyna, the last you want to do is just like a 2-up portion as opposed to a whole seat. And third con is this does come with the LED headlight, but all of your turn signals are still, you know, the standard bulb. So it would be nice if it came from the factory with LED turn signals as well. But again, that being a con, it's not a make or break, because you could, you know, through Rogue Rider Industries or Custom Dynamics, throw on some LEDs and bam, there you go. Now your turn signals are even brighter. So again, I guess all my cons aren't really necessarily cons. I'm just being, to be nitpicky to do it, I guess. Now, what I would do to this bike, this is my favorite part. This is what I'm going to enjoy doing test rides of. First and foremost, definitely seat. I would end up, probably because my vision of this bike would be to keep it the bobber style, so I would look at doing that 2-up like pillion type detachable seat on the back That way it keeps that bobber look when I don't ride with the kids. So mod 1, seat. Mod 2, exhaust. Definitely would want to open this thing up, maybe get some Vance & Hines short shots or something, minimum, so it doesn't take away from the lines of the bike. That would be another thing that I would want to do as well. And third, what would I do third? Bars. No, I'll take that back. Maybe something simple like changing out the levers. I really like 2-fingering it, guys. So this one, I would probably get the levers because they're like $99 on Whiplash Speed Company. And then that way I'm back to like the 2-finger brake and clutch. So pretty cool. I like this bike, guys. Really like this bike. Enjoyed riding it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the test ride video. Again, you know, it's a work in progress. We're going to be definitely, you know, figuring out the ins and outs on how we can work better together. But once we get a couple under our belt, I'm sure videos will start being even better. And that's what it's all about. This thing, man, I like it. I'm not done yet. Maybe I should just go act like I didn't come back yet. But anyways, if you guys like today's video, go ahead and click that like icon. And if you have not yet subscribed to the channel, go ahead and click that subscribe button right here. And if you'd rather stick around and watch a few more of my videos, I'll throw up a video here and here. Like always, guys, I really appreciate the support. Thanks for tuning in to another video. And this is MotoSarge signing out.